Hi, I am Emmanuel Boris, and I will be presenting the summary of my reflections on 8 weeks of discussions in housing and human settlements. For week 2, we discussed historical periods and growth of settlement. Through history records, archaeologists can study the various phases of human history to identify the main events in the past. They use these resources to divide human existence into 5 historical eras. First, we have prehistory. The period during which humans appeared on Earth is known as the prehistoric era. It shows the beginning of human activity on the planet. This period is also referred to as the foundational era, as many foundations of human civilization occurred during this time. Second, we have classical. The classical era, also known as classical antiquity, began around 600 BC in most of the world. During this period, it marked the beginning of a significant philosophical period and the beginning of recorded human history. Third, we have Middle Ages. The Middle Ages is also known as the medieval or post-classical era. Historians refer to the early part of this period as the Dark Ages due to the loss of recorded history after the fall of the Roman Empire in AD 476. Fourth, we have Early Modern. The early modern era had a resurgence of values and philosophies that were once associated with the classical era. Fifth is the modern eras. The influences of both the Renaissance and the Enlightenment led to a technological boom in modern era, also known as the late modern era. The world of politics was rocked by wars, revolution, and the end of the monarch in many countries. The modern era is truly a accumulation of millions of years of human development. Week 3, we discussed basic concepts of human settlements and origin and evolution of human settlement. Civilization was when people developed various skills in art, such as engravings and painting. They also learned how to make various objects using metals, and developed a kind of common language. Community structuring. The division of labor was established to meet the demands in the community. The barter system was practiced in the neighborhood until people started trading in nearby and faraway places. This increased the demands of goods, which predetermined the growth of the communities. Physical structuring. The chieftain built his castle so that it towered over the other buildings in the village. The wealthy individuals and farmers built their houses near the castle, while the poor occupied the periphery. In fear for their life and property, they built walls that started the walled settlements. New community structure. The external threat brought about the need for internal unity. However, the new organization resulted in the exploitation of the majority of peasants by a small group of rich individuals. The chieftain claimed a share in the surplus of the farming community in exchange for their protection. This system was initially described as the beginning of taxation. As the civilization grew, labor specialization was needed. It created new occupations for the people such as engineers, construction laborers, carpenters, miners, merchants, soldiers, and priests. New physical structure. The village evolved into an urban settlement. Similar layout to the previous structure, the city has cores where important establishments are located. Around it is where people reside and their social status determines the location of their homes. Wealthy people live nearby and the poor live farther away from the center. Week 4 was about human settlements, size, and density. A settlement is a collection of buildings and people. Its inhabitants exert a far greater positive influence on the world's economy and culture. Beyond that, however, settlements are also repositories of cultural and economic wealth. The physical components comprise shelter, the superstructures of different shapes, sizes, types and materials erected by mankind for security, privacy, and protection from the elements, and his singularity within a community. Infrastructure. The complex networks designed to deliver to or remove from the shelter people, goods, energy, or information. Services. Services cover those required by a community for the fulfillment of its functions as a social body, such as education, health, culture, welfare, recreation, and nutrition. Week 5, we learned about human settlement and development and the factors affecting the location of settlements. Site and location are the key factors that allowed a town or city to grow. Several factors favored the location and growth of cities and towns in a particular area. First, we have the fertile alluvial plain. A fertile alluvial plain is ideal for raising food crops and ensuring a secure water supply for humans. It can also be used to transport goods and people. Second, coastal lowlands. Coastal lowlands are areas where the landward side is dominated by mountains and the settlements are concentrated on the lower ground. This is where the towns grow occurs naturally. Third, sheltered indentations on the coastlines. Indented coastlines are sheltered areas that can be accessed by the waves. These areas are ideal for harbors that require protection from harsh weather conditions. Fourth is nodal towns. Many towns in nodal areas have become centers of activity due to their geographical location. These towns benefit from the presence of railway and water communication facilities. Fifth is the site for generating hydroelectric power. Waterfalls or dams and other water bodies are natural areas that can be used to generate electricity. The availability of cheap power can trigger industrial concerns. A lot of investors are worried about the availability of cheap electricity and the associated labor costs. Week 6 was about rural, urban land use, and environmental quality. Urbanization has become the dominant demographic trend in the world. It has affected every country and city in its development. Over the past half-century, the rapid urbanization of rural areas has shifted the population structure of the country. This is expected to continue in the next decades. It is estimated that by the end of the century, many of the big countries will have reached the threshold of urbanization. This will contribute to the reduction of poverty and improve the living conditions of the people. Urbanization has various negative effects on the environment, human development, and crime rates. These include increasing unemployment, inadequate shelter, and a lack of finance and infrastructure. Only a fraction of immigrants has found formal employment. The rest have resorted to working in the informal sector. This leaves a large portion of the population without a reliable source of income. For week 7, we discussed cultural and environmental patterns, health, and safety. Systems of social relations play a crucial role in shaping the urban and rural environment. The diverse uses of land can create conflicts and challenges when they are pursued at the same time. Some of these goals include the protection of forests and wildlife, the establishment of human settlements, and the development of infrastructure for various purposes. The perspectives on the costs and benefits of land management vary widely. Understanding these perspectives can help achieve the balance between the goals and the impacts of land use decisions. Anyhow, urbanization and the reduction of car emissions are two key components of city planning. This approach involves developing mixed-use regions and improving public transport. Since the office tends to be in the city center, people are looking for ways to allow them to live closer to work. This is one of the solutions proposed by Smart Growth Movement to decrease urban sprawl. That would be for my presentation. I am Emmanuel Borges and thank you very much. Have a great day.